we've had a cup of tea and a cup of soup because we needed it after that first half, and thoroughly enjoying it, and hopefully you are too as we start the second half. Joe Cannon operating in the half-forward line, takes off, heads towards the 45. 4 Tipperary players around him, half blocked, half hooked, and it comes for as James Barry, who clears his line. Straight back down into the Galway half of the field, just getting a touch with Iarla Tanyan, going back to gather with his Dahi Burke, under severe pressure. Iarla calls, Iarla is hooked however, but the referee has blown his whistle for a free.
I think he gave it, again, disadvantage rule, you see. I think he gave it for the foul on Dahi Burke before that, allowed the play to develop, then he was hooked, so there was no advantage accruing, so he gave the free out. An interesting Bonner Maher, Dahi Burke and him neither much in the game, and the same with Niall O'Mara. He's been taken off. Both half hours been very well marshalled in the first half.
Colm Callanan drops this in. Joe Cannon gets his fingertips to it. Come as far as Darren Gleeson, who lays it off quickly and efficiently as James Woodlock works hard to try and get a little bit of space. Good pressure, great pressure by Cyril Donlan. Put the shackles on James Woodlock.
Brilliant play. Darren Gleeson had time maybe to clear that long, and he gave it out short to Woodlock, and I've mentioned it a few times in the commentary already. That's a huge feature of Galway's play this year, is the tackling of the forwards. It's improved so much.
Joe Canning going to take this sideline cut, and that line
a handy one for him, Mark.
45-metre line. I've seen him do this before, but every time I say it he misses it. But look at this time we coordinated our words and our action together, because that is a thing of beauty. A sideline cut, a unique skill, unique to our native game, the beautiful game of hurling.
And he cut that in golf terms, left to right. The wind is blowing that way. A beautiful strike. That's what Joe Canning can do. He's having a marvellous game. 2
points between the teams. Who will face Kilkenny on the 6th of September? It's a battle. Bonner Maher lays it off. Comes up as James Woodlock eventually. Inside is Shane Burke. Woodlock tries to cut it across, and he still can't connect, and the ball is gone wide. Great pressure as David Burke congratulates Dahi Burke with a job well done.
Yeah, super hook there. Again, you know, James Woodlock maybe should have done better. Brendan Maher gave him a nice ball. He should have stuck it over the bar when he had time. He carried it into trouble, and I think Galway definitely have an edge in the middle of the field from the first half. Andrew Smith and David Burke getting through an awful lot of work, and Shane McGrath not on the ball much, and we see James Woodlock getting caught in possession the last 2 times he had the ball.
Colm Callanan was aiming at Jonathan Glenn. Joe Canning comes in to vac him up. He's between the 45 and 65. He lets fly. The slither is heading down towards Hillsborough, but it's not going between the posts.
No, it's not, but you'd have to say Galway, you know, well on top. Does not on the scoreboard, only 2 points up, but they have to take advantage of these chances.
Tipperary bench there, Noel McGrath and company, waiting perhaps for the call. The puck out comes straight to Andy Smith, who continues to work so hard. Ball in is not a great one. Easily dealt with here. Sent back by Cathal Barrett, gathered by John Hanbury, who's improving with every match. Had to use the short grip and just pump it over to the far side. The 2 Connors are battling here. Conor O'Brien of Tipperary, Conor Whelan of Galway. And the linesman indicates that it is a sideline ball for Tipperary. Who got the last touch? Seemed to be Galway. Correct decision by the linesman. In fact, the linesman is John Keenan from Wicklow. His mother-in-law won 40,000 on the spin a wheel with Marty Whelan and Sinead Kennedy last night, so he's a happy man.
He's doing well to be here at all.
He is, absolutely. Here comes Niall O'Mara dropping the ball in. Dangerous ball. Who has it? Callanan! Goal! Second goal. Second chance. And it is once again the Drummond Inch star. Great hands here. 1-to-1 battle. Controlled it, let fly, and he ripped the back of the Galway net.
Yeah, he got the wrong side of Pádraig Mannion. You know, you have to say, man, a great goal by Callan, but the way Galway are playing, everyone else playing so well. Pádraig Mannion is just having a bad day, and they should have made a change. So he's 2-4 from playing now for Seamus Callan, and single-handedly he's keeping Tipperary in this game.
Ball comes back out for us, Jason Flynn. What a response by Galway. Now that's always a good sign, a great sign of character. They've been rattled twice by 2 goals by Seamus Callanan. Beginning of the first half, beginning of the second half, and Galway have responded, much to the delight of Eugene Cloonan and indeed Anthony Cunningham.
Great score. Jason Flynn missed the Kilkenny game with a broken finger, and you can see the value to the team. He's been outstanding this season as well, along with Cathal Mannion and Joe Canning.
Up goes Dahi Burke. Blocked down. Sides level for the second time, remember, here in Croke Park. This time it's a free for Galway. Barry Kelly spotting the infringement.
Yeah, looking in, Pádraig Mannion is still on Seamus Callanan. You can imagine John Hanbury, who's a tight sort of a marker. He, as you say, has grown with every game this championship. He's surely worth a switch there with Mannion at this stage, just to take the pressure off him.
Joe Canning's ball is dropping in. Darren Gleeson, well protected by his full back line. They did well, so did Darren Gleeson. The ball comes out for Cathal Mannion on the 45-metre line. He connects. Hurling with Slither, and it flies between the posts. It's his 3rd point. Remember Callanan's goal just a few moments ago. Look at the response from Jason Flynn and Cathal Mannion.
Yeah, lovely score. The full forward line named on the programme. Jason Flynn has got 3. Joe's got 2 from play, 3 frees, a 65 a line ball, and Mannion has got 3. Those 3 players on fire, and overall Galway forwards far superior as a unit than the Tipperary forwards.
Ball comes back for Kieran Bergen. Goes for a score down at the Davin end, but the left half back from Killinall will be disappointed. Right off the post and wide. By the way, that's only Tipperary 6 wide of the game. It's exactly the same amount that Galway have registered in this semi-final. Galway come forward again. The umpires are looking all the way. They step out and they say it's wide ball.
That's a couple,
stick of Joe Canning.
That's a couple Joe's had since half-time. Sorry, Marty, I said Niall O'Mara was gone off. Of course, he's not gone off a few minutes ago. Jason Ford has gone off. And I think that was in my head, that if anyone had to go, maybe it was Niall O'Mara. I thought Jason Ford did quite well in the first half. He scored a point and he was on the ball a few times, and maybe surprisingly to me anyway, he was taken off at half-time.
And indeed scored a point in that first half as well. Here comes Patrick Bonner-Marr under pressure from Joe Canning. Dahi Burke arrives. So too working hard is Shane McGrath under severe pressure, coming across to the man who is really troubling Galway. That's Seamus Callanan. Referee spotted that Pádraig Mannion was fouling, and he's given a free in to Tipperary.
Yeah, Shane McGrath was late tackle there, Marty, actually out at the sideline. He a bit of a chop down, and the ref gave a free where the ball landed. And you know, Galway will be much happier. Tipperary's forwards, as I've said there, you know, they're living on scraps. Bubbles of the wire not in the game to his level. Bonner Maher, you know, Niall O'Mara, Brendan Maher, all quiet, and Shane Burke since half-time, only for Seamus Callanan. The rest of their attack not functioning. So you'd imagine Lara Corbett, Noel McGrath. Noel McGrath hasn't had any matches, as you said, Marty. Brilliant recovery from illness. We're all delighted to see him back, but maybe an All-Ireland semi-final is not the place to be reintroducing him.
Seamus Callanan, 2 goals and 5 points in this All-Ireland semi-final. Difficult enough angle. He steadies himself, and the umpire is going for the white flag. And he's the scorer in chief, and you think Jason Ford, Brendan Maher and John Bubbles of the Wire are the only other scorers. Ball comes out for Ronan Maher, just 19 years of age, sending the ball in. Trying to get across this Dahi Burke, but it's a chance here for Patrick Bonner-Marr. He shoots. Brilliant save by Colin Callanan. Not once but twice. Here's Shane Burke. The ball is bumping all over the place. Bonner-Marr pulls the trigger again, and Callanan saves again. Brilliant goalkeeping. And away comes Colin Callanan. Flicks it away. Galway surviving. Keeping the pressure on is Patrick Bonner-Marr. Out for Shane Burke. The ball is sent in. It's high, and it is to the right and wide. Well, drama at the Davin end. We've been talking about Seamus Callanan. Now we have to talk about Colin Callanan. Goalkeeper, superb, with 1 save, bravely getting behind the sliotar. That was only 1 of 3. The ball is popped out as Galway put the pressure on the Tipperary defence, sending it back again. There's a chance here, and a brilliant block down by Pádraig Mannion. Dahi Burke going back to gather it. Iarla Tanyan takes it as Seamus Callanan's shot was blocked down, and Iarla Tanyan puts back the shoulders, the big broad shoulders from the man from Ardrohan. Ball coming down as Tipperary find themselves under pressure. Good work by James Barry, flicking it out and sending it back down into the Galway half of the field. It's breathtaking down here in Crook Park. Here comes Irlatanya, driving it low, straight low, intercepting, however, is Paddy Maher. Put up the left hand and the left hurley, puts the sliotar on him momentarily, flicks it into the middle. James Woodlock is there, surrounded by Andy Smith. Back outside for Shane McGrath. 1, 2, 3 Galway players around him. In comes Jonathan Glenn. They're chasing everything, these Galway lads. And listen to the roar. Galway are feeling the pulse. They feel that they could make this All-Ireland final.
That is some passage of play. Those saves, like brilliant play. Bonamara should have put it away though, Mark. The first shot was lovely height for the goalie. Should have stuck it in the corner, but brilliant play by Colin Callan. And then down the other end of the field, like, we might get a chance to see it. James Barry went to go for a high ball, and then at the last minute he stayed down and made a brilliant interception. It was a certain goal for Galway if he didn't. Jason Flynn was in it. Great passage of play, and Galway showing massive hunger.
Galway have it. Carl Mannion. How far is David Burke? He scored once. He scored twice. He puts Galway 17 points to Tipperary's 2 goals and 10.
Well, he's a brilliant modern midfielder, Marty. On his day, to me, he's the most complete midfielder in the game. He's unbelievable skill, left and right, and a great scorer as well. And he moves the ball so quickly from the middle of the field into the forwards. Class score.
Ball comes down from Irlatanya, knocked down by Cyril Donnan, picked up by Jason Smith. Flynn, he's already scored 3 times in this All-Ireland semi-final, and Jason Flynn sends it wide. That was an opportunity.
That's the easiest chance he had.
Should have been really over the bar.
Should have been over the bar, but Galway forwards going really well.
Tuck out from Darren Gleeson, gathered by Carl Mannion. Ball into the middle, Jason Flynn giving the ball, quick ball inside, where's Joe Canning? To his left is Andy Smith. Is it a put on the special? Here comes the rocket, Darren Gleeson on his knees, bats it forward, and Tipperary survive. Out fires Ronan Marr. Ronan Marr delivers it back into the Galway half of the field. Breaking ball, Patrick Bonamar chasing after it, playing it into the centre. Chance for John Bubbles on the wire. He's going for the 3rd goal. Colin Callanan is there to save. He really should have hit the back of the net. John Bubbles on the wire, and Galway survive. Goes over first Jonathan Glenn. This is brilliant hurling. This is what we grew up to love and to treasure and indeed to appreciate. And Galway and Tipperary are giving it everything.
Well, they are, Martin. It's opening up. Like, there's still 23 minutes to go. You'd imagine there's going to be more space. But look at this, Joe Canning, first of all, it took a deflection and Darren Gleeson had gone down, so he showed great reflexes to save that. And then on the other end, Bubbles were trying to bat it in, well closed down, straight to the goalie. Plenty of goal chances not being taken on both sides, and you know, the defending, the hook and the blocking, fantastic. It's a great game.
Ball comes out for Cyril Donlan, gone inside, looking for it is Carl Mannion, didn't quite control it. The sliotar was hit too powerfully, picked up by Carl Barrett, into the centre, Ferris Kieran Bergen. Holy Cross Ballycal to Killinall, knocked away by John Hanbury. Plenty of Tipperary forwards. One of them is Patrick Bonamar, and he puts it between the posts for his first point in this All-Ireland semi-final.
Yeah, the one thing you're guaranteed with Bonamar is he'll stay going. He never stops running, and lovely first touch there and up and over the bar. Great score and badly needed by Tipperary.
Level for the 4th time. The puck out comes down into the middle. After Patrick Bonamar's point, it's level yet again. Ball is wide.
I think Galway are going to rue maybe some of these. That's David Burke with an easy wide. Joe Canning had a couple. Jason Flynn had one there as well a few minutes ago. Galway have had 4 or 5 easy chances since half-time that they haven't taken.
This is the 27th championship clash between Tipperary and Galway. They first met in 1888. They last met last year, and never, not once, has there been a draw. Perhaps today is the day, as they've been level 4 times. Noel McGrath is warming up, going to do a warm-up. What a response his fellow county men and women would give to see Noel McGrath enter this magnificent arena that we all love and appreciate here at Crook Park. It is a chance here for Irlatanya inside his own 45-metre line, dropping this in. They're coming forward to gather it. Up goes Paddy Maher, mighty Paddy from Thurles, laying it out for his Ronan Marr, who spreads the arms wide and lets fly. Big down, oh, great catch. We're seeing it all. John Hanbury over for his Carl Mannion. Carl from the middle of the field, well, from front of the Hogan stand, and that is an incredible point. Awesome Carl Mannion. We're all on our feet in Crook Park.
Well, Marty, that's a great piece of play, great catch by John Hanbury, and look at the ball up the wing, straight up to Carl Mannion. One look, and that's his 4th point. What a brilliant young player this is. He's having a fantastic year again.
Ball is popped out and superbly gathered again by Dahi Burke. Laid on far as Jonathan Glenn. Conor Whelan and Conor O'Brien continue the exchanges, and this time it's a sideline ball for Tipperary.
They're having a great little private battle over there, Conor Whelan and Conor O'Brien. Some, great work.
Well, look who just might be introduced. This, of course, is Lar Corbett warming up with Noel McGrath as Eamon O'Shea looks like he may make a change, particularly in the attack.
Yeah, I think you might see Brendan Maher going to the middle of the field and James Woodlock or Shane McGrath coming out, and Lar going inside, a bit of a rejig in the forward line.
Andy Smith and Aidan Hart just got their signals crossed, and with the result it's an easy enough concession of a sideline ball. John O'Dwyer stands over it, looking at options. Shane Burke makes the run. He's the one with the red helmet. This, however, is Dahi Burke. Over far as Pádraig Mannion, brother of Cathal Mannion, sends it down the wing. Over this side, it's Jason Flynn. Going forward is Cathal Barrett. Tenacious Cathal Barrett. Good ball, almost a good ball inside. Could still work out okay. Ball is flicked inside by Bonner Marr, but the referee has blown his whistle and he's given a free in to Tipperary.
Yeah, I think he's right, Marty. He was allowing a little advantage, but he was definitely fouled before that. And this is going to level up again if we don't get it there in the replay, but he was certainly fouled before that.
58,495 is the official attendance in what has turned out to be so far the game of the Hurling Championship. We might have mentioned fireworks in our preamble, but we're getting plenty of it here.
Well, look, I think the rivalry between Tip and Galway has been fantastic. Ever since you mentioned the Keady affair back in '88, there's been a huge rivalry between them ever since, and carried on today. But they've produced fantastic games over the last 10 years in particular.
Chance here for Seamus Callanan to tap this over the bar. Here he comes. He takes his point. 2 goals and 7 points. Level for the 5th time. 2-7 for Seamus Callanan. Level for the 5th time in Croke Park. Joseph Cooney is coming on to the team, and going off is Cyril Donlan. And Joseph Cooney, you will recall, scored the goal against Dublin in the drawn match. In fact, so far he scored a goal and a point in this championship journey. Puck out, lands into Tipperary half of the field, picked up by Tipperary captain Brendan Maher. So used to seeing him playing in the half back line. He really got behind this. Great catch again. It's Callanan going for a hat-trick. There it is! Callanan Tipperary beats Callanan Galway. And the Tipperary fans rejoice. What a performance! He scored 3-8 in the qualifier last year. He's 3-7 today.
Yeah, it's an unbelievable, brilliant play first of all by Brendan Maher. What a catch by Seamus Callanan. And look at him in this form. He's probably unmarkable, but I've said it before, you cannot leave Pádraig Mannion on him. That's 3-4 from play now. And when the rest of the Tipperary forwards been well held, it's not, John Henry should have been on him, and free in now for Galway. But crazy, what a goal. I don't want to take from Seamus Callanan. He's caught 3 balls. They're all the same type of ball of goal. But surely there should have been a change by now. And if Galway lose this game, I think the finger's going to be pointed at them, Anthony Cunningham, for not making that change.
Well, it's been obvious, really, from about the 38th or 40th second that Galway had a problem there.
I think once he got the second goal, you had to make a change there.
Yeah. Here comes the free for Galway and Joe Canning. And he puts that between the posts.
Yeah, good response by Galway again.
So what will Anthony Cunningham do as Lar Corbett looks to be ready for Tipperary to be introduced? The puck out from Darren Gleeson. Here Latanian comes forward, knocking it down. Kieran Bergen under pressure here. Good work by John O'Dwyer. Sends it into the middle towards Patrick Bonner Marr. Dahi Burke is there. So too is Aidan Hart. Trying to get away from Shane Burke. Uses the short grip. Gets it into the middle. Ball comes down. Dangerous ball. Who has it here is Cathal Barrett. Lays it off Ferris Pádraig Marr. Loses possession to the tenacity of Conor Whelan. Ball comes out for Shane McGrath. Nowhere to go. Tries to hand pass it down. Here comes Conor Whelan. half chance. And he puts it between the posts for his first point in his All-Ireland semi-final. And again, we've seen since 4 o'clock that when Tipperary hit Galway with a big score, the Galway character is tested and they come through with flying colours. 2 points in response. They need one more to level it for the 6th time. They've been leveled 5 times so far.
Look, huge work again by Conor Whelan. He made the initial tackle, then put it over the bar. And you're right, Marty, the work rate of Galway, really, outside of Seamus Callan, Galway would be out of sight in this game. He's just given a masterclass for Tipperary. But overall, Galway, the better team, but Tipperary being kept in it by Callan.
There's a substitution going to take place. It's Lar Corbett is introduced. And he's coming on instead of Shane McGrath. Hurler of the Year 2010, 34 years of age, in his 62nd championship appearance for his county, 3 times an All-Star. Can he ensure that it's Tipperary that play in the All-Ireland final on the 6th of September? The sideline ball is a short one, picked up again by Cathal Barrett, flicking it forward, bypassing Joe Canning, trying to get into the middle. Cross comes Andy Smith. His Portumna clubmate comes in. Joe Canning from in front of the Hogan stand, lets rip from way out the field, but that ball is wide.
Yeah, great work by Andy Smith. I think a wrong option by Joe there. He was a long way out. She would have been better off to cross it over to Conor Whelan, who was loose on the far wing.
Just 1 point between the teams. 2 former Galway stars along the sideline. Hefty challenge on David Burke, and that's a yellow card on Lar Corbett, who's just arrived on the late bus from Thurles. And he's shown a yellow, and that is a free, unquestionably, for Galway.
Yeah, definitely jumped straight into the back of David Burke, no doubt about that. And some of the puckouts from Darren Gleeson, normally a huge part of Tipperary's game, but you saw the last ball going out over the line there was a 2-on-1, a poor puckout, and I think those, Tipperary not as dominant from those short puckouts. Galway working so hard throughout the field.
It looks like Noel McGrath is going to make an appearance. Free, as you can see, just outside the Galway 65-metre line.
And interesting to see Jason Flynn taking it, not Joe Canning, which, we see Bubbles O'Dwyer taking the real long ones for Tipperary, not Seamus Callan. How will this work out?
Flynn hits it. The umpires have absolutely no doubt, and that is over the bar. They're level for the 6th time in this All-Ireland semi-final.
And that's a great score, Marty, for a young player to draw up a match of this nature. He's fantastic natural hurler and a beautiful score there.
Puck out from Darren Gleeson. Great catch again. This time it's John O'Dwyer. Bubbles trying to get away. Irla Tanya. They all fall down. Picked up nicely by Shane McGrath. There's a chance here. James Woodlock, I should say, and that is to the left and wide.
Yeah, I mentioned that in the first half, not one of his strong points, and Niall O'Mara had made a run inside. If he just flicked it in over the top, there was another goal on, and very poor wide by James Woodlock.
Interestingly, Colm Callanan goes for distance. Again, going back to gather it is Cathal Barrett, but it's Jason Cathal Mannion that has it, and that is a free. It should be a free, dead straight in front of the goals. Now, this to put Galway in front, but this was a long ball, eventually gathered by Cathal Mannion. Need to work hard for it here.
Yeah, the hurling around the head, Cathal Mannion and Jason Flynn, along with Canning, really working so hard.
Joe Canning, they're level, 21 points each, 21 to 3-12. Simple tap over score for the Portumna man.
John Henry has switched in now on Seamus Callan. So Pádraig Mannion's gone out in the corner and Shane Burke.
Not to dwell on it, but it really should have been there, as you said, from once the second goal went in.
With all credit to Galway, still managed to keep the nose in front, and as I said, the better team, but down to the last crucial 10 minutes. And Marty, this is where Galway have fallen down over the last couple of years. Against Tipperary last year, against Kilkenny in the replay, down in Tullamore last year as well, and in the Leinster final edition, the last 10 minutes Kilkenny took over. So this is where the big test now is on Galway.
Focusing, concentration, stamina, fitness, self-belief, all the characteristics that make up a victory in the championship. They're all going to be tested now. And here's a testing ball, batted down by Seamus Callan. Here comes Lar. Oh, what a save! Colm Callanan's response was just instinctive, because Lar Corbett pulled the trigger, let fly, and Callan deflected it away. Brilliant save.
It's a brilliant save. Lar just showed the class that he has. Just onto the first ball, he gave away a yellow card already, but it just broke lovely for him. He let fly first time, and that's a super instinctive save by Colm Callan.
From Kinvara, a young fella that never actually played minor for Galway, but he's 30 years of age, and he's matured and developed over the last number of years. Under-21 goalkeeper in Deep in Galway, lost the Under-21 All-Ireland final back in 2002 and 2003 against Limerick and Kilkenny. But he's had some wonderful saves in this championship journey. Will Colm Callanan get a chance to play in the All-Ireland final, or will it be the man that's taken the 65, Seamus Callanan? This to level the match for the 7th time, and we're heading towards 61 minutes in Croke Park. Seemed to stumble as he was hitting it. The follow-through was good enough.
It's a great finish. He did lose his foot, Marty, and he managed to follow through somehow, take an extra step and still strike the ball over the bar.
Now you're going to hear the roar. Noel McGrath from Lockmore Castellani is back. Standing ovation for not just a great hurler, but a hero. Welcome back to Croke Park. Puck out by Colm Callanan. Picked up here by James Woodlock, skipping away from the challenge. The call comes from John Bubbles O'Dwyer, floating it in. John Hanbury, and that's man again, and that surely has to be a penalty as he's pulled down to the ground. What's the referee going to do? What's he going to indicate? He hasn't given any signal. He has now. Had to be. Just had to be a penalty.
Had to be, but Marty, I've seen Seamus Callanan having brilliant games before, but I don't think I've ever seen one player having such an influence in a game. It's just incredible what he's done here today. He scored 3-4 from play, 3 frees, a 65, and now he's won that penalty. And like overall, Galway are the better team. They're winning the majority of places out the field. The rest of their forwards reasonably subdued. You just see it there, great catch, turning for the goals, and John Henry, no choice. It should be a yellow card as well. I don't know if a card was shown.
This was the challenge, no doubt whatsoever that it is a penalty, and John Hanbury couldn't cope with him either.
You see his head got a bad bang into the ground there as well, and that's why he's still down.
And the man that's on the ground, scoring 3 goals, 36 seconds, 39 minutes, 52 minutes. Conor O'Mahony is on, by the way, as well. James Woodlock has gone off. Former All-Star hurler, centre-half back. Galway make a change. Andrew Smith has gone off, and coming on is David Collins.
You'd imagine Seamus Callanan normally be the man to take it, but Bubbles O'Dwyer now, maybe because he's been down injured, he might take it. And it's crucial, if they goal this, it puts them on the way to an Ireland semi-final. If it's saved, could be Galway.
Well, Colm Callanan has been outstanding, to be honest with you, despite the concession of 3 goals. Now he faces perhaps another Callanan, the man who has scored the hat-trick against him. The slither is in the hand. The referee, Barry Kelly.
A few of the Galway lads giving him a bit of advice as well.
So they're told to move away, and it is indeed Seamus Callanan that's going to take this. 6 minutes left in this All-Ireland semi-final. Colm Callanan saved a penalty against Dublin in O'Connor Park, Tullamore. He now has to do it again. Callanan against Callanan, and it's over the bar. Deflected over by the Galway keeper. Galway's hopes and dreams are still alive. Good save by Colm Callanan.
Yeah, he went for power, and Colm Callanan just held his ground, didn't go left or right, and got a touch shoot and put it over the bar.